Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I hope you're having a great day. This is a fat loss video, but it is different from what you see on the internet because I haven't lost 30 kilos in 6 months or 20 kilos in 3 months like a lot of people on the internet have. I had a small amount of weight that I needed to lose, nothing crazy, but I have been doing everything in my power. Like consistently, I've been training, eating healthy, cooking in almost no oil, and despite all of that, I wasn't able to lose weight. And so this video is important because after so long, I was actually able to lose weight. It's officially been 5 weeks since I started my weight loss journey. Let me correct myself right there. It's not a weight loss journey, it is a fat loss journey. And in the 5 weeks, this is my transformation. I'm not showing you my entire body because the pics were really nasty, so I'm just gonna have to make do with my face. As you can tell in my face, I have lost some weight. Like the jaw has sharpened up, you can see my cheekbones now, and the cheeks have like got more sculpted, the puffiness has gone overall, and this is just in 5 weeks. I have been posting about my journey every week on Instagram. I get so many questions that I'm unable to put into a reel, so this is going to be a longer sit down video where I'm going to be covering all my tips and tricks on how I got here. Just to set your expectations straight, there are so many creators on the internet and they've lost a lot of weight and they have made great videos about that. I have watched all of them, okay, because I was doing this for a long time. I couldn't associate with those videos because I didn't have that much weight to lose. I actually have about 5 to 7 kilos of weight that I need to lose to look and feel my very best. When you don't have a massive amount of kilos to lose, the journey actually becomes a little bit more tricky. Calorie deficit is simply not going to show the results the way it shows when you have a lot more weight to lose. Just for context, I've been working out for the last 1 year consistently. That's about 4 times a week. I'm building muscle. I eat so healthy. Like if you open up my Zomato and Swiggy history, there are no orders. The only orders that are there is when I order a cake for someone's birthday in my family, and that's about it. Like I literally eat 99.9% of the time at home, and even at home I understand that healthy is not low calorie, and because of that I don't eat like fatty foods or like I don't use too much oil in my cooking. Cooks in my house are actually trained to make everyday items with no oil. Like even dosa in my house is made with no oil. Now considering I'm doing all of this, you will typically look at me and be like, what is the change you could possibly do to lose weight, right? Same, me too. I took help from ChatGPT and all of the internet and nothing happened. The scale didn't move. I was definitely building muscle in the gym, but that was kind of making me look a little bit more puffed up because there is muscle, then there's fat, and when the muscle builds, since the fat is still there, I just looked more puffy and not toned. And so finally bit the bullet and I realized that if I want to really see the fruits of my labor in the gym, I'm going to have to get professional help because all the information on the internet is not cutting it. If you're in the same boat where you feel like you're just so close to your ideal physique, it's like not 10-15 kilos away, just 5 to 7 kilos away, and you don't know what to do, this video might help you. So first things first, I admitted that ChatGPT was not going to solve my problems and that I needed professional help. I have done this professionally once earlier in 2020. At that point of time, I took a paid membership with Healthify Me and I took a 3-month plan and I lost a good amount of weight, and that was probably the only other time in my life I've actually seen a good result. I hired a coach and I hired a nutritionist to help me with my goals. All the information on the internet is generic. When you look at all the other videos on the internet, including this one, might be a little generic because it is not tailor-made for you. When you hire a coach and when you hire a nutritionist, they are tailor-making every program to fit your needs, to fit your issues, your concern, your blood work. When I hired the coach and the nutritionist made me do a blood work, the coach made me do a DEXA scan. I'm going to cover what a DEXA scan is shortly. You make your plan around those reports. None of this is generic. It is tailor-made for me. And when you have a coach now, you have accountability. They ask you for your food pics every day. They check your tracker if you have worked out today or not. And knowing that somebody is watching you, if you falter or if you feel like skipping, you actually feel a little bit embarrassed and you go to the gym no matter what. That accountability has pushed me through some really tough weeks, and I'll cover that also in a bit. I have made my notes here because there's no way that I'm going to remember everything that I wanted to talk about. Don't mind me just referring my notes here and there, okay? What is a DEXA scan? So I just spoke about a DEXA scan. DEXA scan is something that my fitness coach asked me to do. It is basically something like an in-body. If you're familiar with fitness, then a lot of gyms have this in-body machine where you stand and it kind of gives you metabolic age, your basal metabolic rate, how much fat you have and all of that. The thing is, none of these machines are actually that accurate, and the most accurate information that you can get is from what is called a DEXA scan. It is done in hospitals. It's done in like a really large, expensive machine. Like it looks like an MRI machine. It gives you all of those metrics that you get in an in-body scan, but the absolute accurate information. Why is that important to do? Is because human bodies are damn complex, and when you stand on the scale and you see higher weight, it doesn't mean it's something you need to get scared about, because if a large portion of that weight is muscle, it's a really good thing for you, because muscle helps you with so many things. Simply put, strength, endurance, the amount of calories you burn at rest, how your physique actually looks. If you have muscle, you're just going to look better. I wanted to know exactly how much muscle I have because I was training for well over a year, right? So I wanted to know how much muscle I had, how much fat was there, and what my visceral fat looked like and all of that. The reports were so encouraging because it showed that I had a really good amount of lean muscle mass, and the fat that I had was just mainly over that muscle. And if I just went in a calorie deficit and lost that fat, my muscles would start showing. That got me so revved up. It was actually so much more encouraging than just simply standing on the scale and seeing a really large number and wondering that, okay, you need to lose 5 kilos. I'll tell you what the alternate is. Say for instance, I didn't do a DEXA scan and I tried to do this myself without the help of a coach, okay? I see that the weight on the scale is massive. I want to lose 5-7 kilos, and I start eating less and I lose those kilos. I lose 3-4 kilos. So what happens is I lost so much of my muscle in the process of just eating less and just looking at the scale and just getting excited that my weight is coming down. The reality is I have lost muscle maybe as much as I've lost fat, and that is why the rest of my diet plan and everything is designed in a way that I do not lose my muscle, I only lose my fat. Of course, I would not know till I do my second DEXA scan, which I'm planning to do by the end of this month, I believe. To lose the fat, I had to go in a calorie deficit, and to maintain the muscle, I needed to continue strength training. I needed to eat more protein. I needed to take supplements that kind of boosted and maintained my muscles. So this is the plan. I went on a 1300 calorie diet plan, and this plan was made by my nutritionist. I don't want to track my food every day. The beauty of having this nutritionist is that she has given me all the meal options. Whatever permutation combination I choose, I will be well within my calorie limit for the day. Another thing is she has structured my meals in a way that I feel full and I don't end up binge eating. My cravings are reduced, which in turn helps me stay in my calorie deficit, which is why taking professional help is, I'm telling you, the game changer. So every meal I'm having 30 grams of protein. Every meal I have fiber, and the fiber I have before my meal. Basically what that does is the fiber lines my gut and it also starts making me feel full sooner, and because of that I don't overeat my carbs when I'm actually eating the main course. This structure of eating has actually helped me so much, because my biggest issue in life is constantly feeling hungry between meals, because I'm a snacker, I'm a foodie, I love eating. Eating in this order really helped, removed all those in between snacking, basically helped me stay in my calorie deficit. I was in a deficit without tracking. I mean, tracking is so mentally exhausting, and not having to track and just know mentally I am in a deficit was so liberating for me. Now another thing that I would say is my tip is that, see, basically my nutritionist gave me a lot of options, right? And I could choose any option and eat. And what happened was, just having so many options kind of made it a little bit more difficult for me. And that's where I'm going to touch upon my next topic, is that when you want so many options and the minute you want novelty in every meal, you're going to really stall your progress, because the easiest and the quickest way to lose weight is eat the same thing every day. I don't know, there are so many celebrities who've come and spoken about this. They will eat the same meal every day, and why that helps is, every day if you're eating different things that is made at home now, you will not exactly know how many calories you're landing at the end of the day, because you will not going to count every day. The oil is different, the masala is different, this, that. But if you eat the same thing every day and you've tracked it once, you know that every day you're within limit. And this happened so organically for me, because I knew something was working for me, I liked it. I would eat it again and again and again till I got sick of it. Initially I started doing that with my breakfast. I would eat the same breakfast all the time, and it just gave me so much freedom because I enjoyed it. I knew it was meeting my targets. Soon I started doing that for my lunch. Whatever I was eating for lunch, I would eat the same thing for dinner, and now I have started eating the same thing lunch and dinner, and like cross many days till the time I get bored of it. For breakfast I eat 4 egg whites. I just bake them in a dish in the air fryer with some veggies, so that's like my omelette. It has no oil in it, and I have it with a slice of sourdough and a black coffee with my creatine. I will come back to creatine and all my supplements down the line in this video. And another thing that I discovered is that, you know, your Indian meals, your curry, dal, chawal, they actually add up in calories in a way that you won't even realize, because a lot of things that goes into making a curry, especially if you're making for everyone in the house, it's not going to be that boring and bland like a diet food, right? So my latest favorite these days is, I have like 150 grams of chicken breast in every meal, lunch and dinner. I have like different dabbas. and I keep 300 grams in each dabba, which is like over for like a week maybe. I marinate them with different marinades. So every day I take one marinade out from the freezer, I leave it out to thaw, and I air fry it, and that's my meat for the day. I will have that meat either with rice and dal. If I don't have time to think about anything else, or I usually ask them to just make dal and chawal, I ask them not to put tadka, because that way I have eliminated that oil again. The second alternative is the one which I have been enjoying so much these days. I have the same chicken, I have a tablespoon of hummus, and I have a couple of slices of sourdough. I'm basically not having the dal na, so a certain portion of the calories is gone. I end up gravitating towards this sourdough wala meal instead of the dal chawal wala meal, because A, it is going to be lower in calories. B, I don't have to think about it. Sourdough is in the fridge, hummus is in the fridge. I just prep it together. I don't care what other people in the house are having. I am still in my calorie deficit no matter what. The next beautiful thing is that get yourself an air fryer. It changes the game. Everything that you use oil for, you can do in the air fryer without oil. Without oil. I'm saying zero oil. If you don't want to be that strict and you want to use few drops of oil, great. Like you can even make papad, like deep fried things. You can make puri in the air fryer. Get yourself an air fryer. It's going to change the game for you. And honestly, the consumption of oil in your house is going to go down so much. You're going to thank yourself for it. Now let's talk about workout. When you go to the gym, there are two things you can do. You can do weights and you can do cardio, or you can do a blend of both. The thing is, weight loss actually happens in the kitchen. So whatever you eat is what is fueling your fat loss. And what you do in the gym is what kind of gives a very small push to it. But weightlifting itself is not really responsible for any amount of fat loss. It's helping me build and retain my muscle, so that in this fat loss journey, I'm not wasting away my muscle. I'm working out 4 to 5 times a week. I am eating the protein to continue building my muscle, and I'm not going crazy on cardio. I will tell you why. The hardcore cardio that you do in the gym kind of puts so much stress on your body. I enjoy doing it, so I do it once or twice a week, but it is not something that I dedicate half an hour every day to, because I am focusing on getting my steps. 8 to 12k steps every day. That is all the cardio that you need to do. I know it might sound like a lot, especially if you're not getting out of your house, but I have the hack that is going to get this done and out of your way every day. All you have to do is walk for 15 minutes after every meal. After breakfast, after lunch, after dinner, just walk for 15 to 20 minutes. And if you want to go higher, but minimum 15 minutes you walk. And by the end of the day, tell me that you do not have 8k steps. Just walking after meals alone will give you around 8k steps, and if you do any other walking other than that in your day, you will easily touch 10k steps. This itself pushes your calorie burn for the day. Get your steps in and do weights in the gym. Forget cardio. Steps, weights and diet, that's going to do it for you. And you know what is the beauty of walking after every meal? Now it has become such a habit for me that after every meal I just can't sit. I cannot sit, period. Like, generally speaking, I can't just sit and do something. If I'm doing something on my phone, I can't sit. I need to walk and do it. Like, I just can't sit. Once you start doing this long enough, it becomes ingrained into you that you will not be able to sit. And that again is going to really drive the fat loss. Okay, let me quickly touch upon all the supplements that I've been taking and the ones that I think are worth it. Let's start with protein. I take a protein powder. I have the one from My Protein nowadays. I used to have the one from Healthify Me. Honestly, I don't know which one is great. I love the one from Healthify Me for taste, but I don't know if it's just because I'm used to the taste now. The ones from My Protein, I don't love the taste, but they are supposed to be really good and recommended by all the trainers, coaches, whatever. Then I take creatine. I will explain what creatine is and why I take it and the results that I've got from it. So creatine is actually naturally occurring in the body, so it's very safe to have, and it's also the most researched supplement of all time in the world. Basically, when you're working out in the gym, it gives you that extra adrenaline to complete more sets. It helps you build muscle faster than it would have if you didn't take the creatine. So now this is the basic of it, but what it also does is it pulls a little bit water into your muscles and makes your muscles look nicer, firmer and more full. This is very different to looking puffy, because I was also scared about it, because I've heard when you start taking creatine, weight on the scale goes up by half a kilo or even 0.7 kilos, and I was so not ready for it. But all that water is not under your skin. When it's under your skin is when you look puffy and bloated. It's actually in your muscle, and especially for me, like when I lose fat, I lose it first on my ass, and deflated look is so not a vibe. And ever since I started having creatine, there is something there. The muscles, they like perk up, especially after my workout, and it makes me feel more confident. Few extra grams on the scale, I haven't considered it. I don't care for it. So that's why I'm taking creatine, so that in this process of fat loss, I am not losing my muscle. I'm taking magnesium tablets, magnesium glycinate by Tata 1mg. I'm taking those for sleep and recovery. You get really good sleep with magnesium tablets, but that's not the primary reason. It basically lets your muscles relax and rest, basically recover for the next day workout. So I have been really enjoying magnesium. Other than that, I was asked to take caffeine before workouts, like caffeine tablet. I did try it out for a couple of days, but I'm generally not a person that even gets the caffeine high, so I didn't really notice any change with those tablets or any increased performance or anything of that sort, so I kind of discontinued that. But I do still take black coffee before workout, just because I do work out on an empty stomach usually in the morning, and on those days I like to have a little pre-workout snack, which will basically be my black coffee and like a date stuffed with almond butter. Yeah, that's about it. Those are the workout supplements I've been taking. Another thing that messed with my head during the last 5 weeks, which might happen to you if you're going to be in the same journey. Basically, in the first 2 weeks now, I saw progress like this. The weight went down, inches went down, all of that. Week 3 and week 4, I saw nothing. And I was like, what is going on? Am I slacking? Is it not working anymore? And I was so concerned. I was talking to my coaches and I was like, I'm very worried. Why is nothing happening and everything? And they'd just be like, trust the process, trust the process. And usually this is where, if you were doing this by yourself, you would have given up, you would have eaten something else. You're like, anyway, there's no change. But because they told me trust the process, I trust the process, I continue doing it. Somewhere inside me, genuinely this become like a lifestyle for me. It doesn't feel restrictive. It's like when you start seeing results now, this kind of becomes addictive, and that's why you see so many people addicted to the gym, addicted to eating a certain way, because when you see how your body feels and reacts, and how nice your physique can actually look, that's all it takes. That's the motivation. Yeah, in week 1, week 2, I saw good change. Week 3, week 4, it was stagnant, stalled. I don't know what was happening. And then again, boom, in week 5, I saw so much change on the scale. I was like damn happy. I obviously trusted the process, but it also gave me the motivation that I need to continue. And so basically when things start stalling, just keep going. So many people do weight loss and fat loss journeys without telling anybody. They're like, let them just see the new me. But for me, I feel like I could have done that. And if I had done that, what would have happened is that every time life got in the way, nobody knew, right? Like I was doing this, so I had nothing to lose. I would get back to it when life is convenient for me to do it. And honestly, that's the biggest roadblock, okay? Because I was accountable and because I was doing this whole thing on Instagram and I had to put weekly updates, even on the weeks that nothing was working for me, it was chaos at home. I didn't have a nanny, I had to take care of my baby the whole time. I still took out that 1 hour 15 minutes to go to the gym whenever it was, because I knew I had to make a reel at the end of the week and show my progress. And this is me as a content creator trying to show my progress, right? But for you, it could be just the accountability of submitting the end of the day status to your coaches. Any form of accountability now gives you that thing, that embarrassment if you slack, which is so good, because if nobody knew, nobody knows that you're slacking, right? But if people knew you're slacking, you'd probably push through even on tough days. And that's when you basically allow every day to add up. So when you start taking these breaks or faltering in between, that's when all the progress that you had done, so say you do this much progress, then you go back a little bit and then you go this, which is why you don't see progress. But if you keep going, even on tough days, it all just adds up. So I'm just 5 weeks in and I have no clue how much longer it's going to take. But I promise you, I'm going to keep going till I get to my goal physique. I haven't put a number on the scale for it because I've learned to disassociate from the scale. But I do know that I want to be under 24% body fat. I started at 28.9% body fat and I don't know how much body fat I am at right now. I will do a DEXA scan and probably update on my Instagram in my highlights. I have done this whole highlights on my fat loss. Let's see how long this takes. Whatever I learn along the way, I'm going to bring it to you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this one. Let me know if there's any questions that I could answer. I will answer them in the comments. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one.